Lisandro Martinez is demanding negotiations between Ajax and Manchester United to get the fee agreed. The defender wants to leave. He wants to become a Manchester United player. But of course, there are problems in relation to getting this done. In other news, there is now been a fee agreed between Barcelona and Leeds United, according to the brilliant Ben Jacob. Will this deal complete, though? And what direction will it go in? There's lots of speculation still about Dembele. Can both these deals be done? Can both these deals get over the line? We will see. And of course, a lot of noise surrounding Frenkie De Jong. Is it off? Meetings today with Barcelona. Will there be a resolution? But James Ducker from The Telegraph this morning reiterates again, Man United have been given assurances Frenkie De Jong is open to a move if Barca's pay issue can be resolved. We're going to delve into all of these stories this morning, but of course, give you the chance to have your say. I want to hear from you. It isn't about reading out the news articles. It isn't about the news that's being reaffirmed. It's you coming on and giving us your views, your opinions. Make sure you're smashing the like button. You're subscribing to the Football Terriers. If we hit 1,000 likes, by the way, while we are live, I will give out 10 free memberships on this show. Let's go. Good morning and welcome back to the Football Terrace. It is being built up to be a very, very big week. A very, very big week indeed in relation to what is going on in the transfer market. I want to say good morning to all of you. First of all, Chelsea fan here. Good morning, my friend. Hope you're well. Only 500 watching, only 85 likes. It's crazy. It should just be 500 likes. I've often said this to people. I like every video of every channel I subscribe to whenever I click on a video, just because it's the done thing. I don't kind of hit it whether I like the opinion or not. I just hit the like button. It's just the way I do it. Maybe that's why I assess it differently to people. But there we go. Thank you and good morning. Jarwad on Facebook. Thank you very much for tuning in, my friend. Frenkie De Jong is a waiting game. We're going to delve into that. But it's being built up as being a really interesting week in the transfer market. Without a shadow of a doubt, it is. And I'm intrigued to see which way particular deals are going to go. Of course, the fee that has now been agreed between Barcelona and Leeds. Ben Jacob here telling us that he can confirm that Leeds and Barca have finally reached an agreement this evening for Raphinha. My understanding is that 50 million plus 10 is incorrect, and the deal is going to actually be worth close to 75 million euros. Now, it's still unbeknown to everybody whether this is a proposal or whether this is still an official bid. And what the reason I want to stipulate that is there is a difference between a proposal and an official bid. Although I would tell you they're all bids, and they are all bids. Until Barcelona officially submit this, they can't complete the deal. So if it's a proposal and then they go, right, but we're going to put it on the back burner until we sort other deals out, that in itself could still cause problems. There is still believed to be a slight door ajar for Chelsea Football Club in relation to that. But Barcelona seemingly look like they're closing in, where it's confusing for everybody. And I don't think there is a single journalist in the world that has the inside track on this. Where it's confusing is, will they also sign Dembele? Now, there are some reports that say they will, and there are some reports that say they won't. And I am skeptical because of that. And, I don't have any inside information. I only know what you know is what the journalists are saying. My opinion is, I get a feeling they're only going to do one of these deals. It feels like they've lined them both up, and then they're going to make their decision. It reminds me of that great film, The Notebook, where Ali has a choice between her then fiance and Noah. And she can choose between the two of them, and she ends up going, right, which of the two is going to be best for me? And that's what I feel like Barca are doing here. They're putting themselves into a very strong position. They've also got to remember what Barcelona are going to do is they're also going to move towards Bernardo Silva. They've got Lewandowski. They've got Alonso. They have Azpilicueta. There's so many more players they're looking to buy and bring in this summer. And, of course, they've still got to officially register Kessie and Christiansen, who have been kind of announced by them as a football club. So it's a very intriguing situation out there as to where this is going to go. It really, really is. And look, I think that Barca really want Raphinha. Of course, they've got the pull. They've seemingly got the money now. And a lot of people last night on social, like, this has got to be investigated. We've got to know where this money is coming from. How suddenly do Barcelona have all of this cash? And I do completely and utterly understand. I really, really do. Interesting. Sorry, just someone's spamming because I see all these deleted messages. I was like, what's going on here? So yeah, I look at it from a point of view of where are Barca raising this money from? Do they actually have all this money? Now, Barcelona fans all summer, they've been in my DMs. We got money. We're not broke like you say, Terry. I don't believe it. I don't believe the whole world has just suddenly resolved itself as people are making out. But we will see the kind of direction of this and how it kind of goes and what actually happens in the coming days. I'm sure we will. Now, one of the other interesting deals that I wanted to kind of focus on this morning as well before we take your calls is the Frenkie De Jong situation. And the reason that I say that is this. As claimed here by James Ducker from The Telegraph, Man United have been given assurances that a move will open if the pay issue with Barca is resolved. And do you know what's interesting? The situation hasn't really changed over the course of the past week. It's just that news keeps getting repackaged and kind of panics Manchester United fans. And then you end up in a situation where the media kind of feels forced into reacting and giving you an update. That's all that's really happening here, if we're being absolutely honest. Over the last 3 or 4 days, what's been published by a lot of media outlets is the fact that personal terms have at the very least been discussed. And everyone will have a different stance and a different view to what degree they've been discussed. But more and more outlets have kind of focused on De Jong will join if a deal is agreed between Barca and Man United. What has Ben Jacobs been telling us for the last couple of weeks? De Jong happens if Barca sell him. And still what's being pushed out a lot by the Barca media is he can stay, but he's got to take a hefty pay cut. Essentially, he's got to say no to the £17 million they owe him and earn less money per week, therefore after, for the next 4 years. And as it stands, and again, we can only report on things as they stand, Frenkie De Jong and his camp have got zero desire to do this. It's said that relationships between Barca and the agent and the De Jong camp is fractured, is in a bad place, that Frenkie De Jong himself is, I'll quote the word that was translated on Twitter last night from a Spanish journalist, pissed off at the way Barca are treating him. Now, for some people, they've gone, that because it's a bad relationship, that means nothing will be resolved. Barca, in their eyes, have already resolved it. It's you take a pay cut or we sell you to Manchester United. The player is open to joining Manchester United. All that remains to be done is they need to have a meeting with the player to see whether it's... I mean, Barca want to keep him if he reduces his salary. This isn't new news. Everybody's saying that the deal's over for Man United is an absolute atrocious opinion right now. Yes, there'll be people sitting going, I told you he ain't coming, he won't come. And maybe he won't. But Man United fans, the reason for him not joining won't be the reason people give you. Remember that. It will not be, I rejected you. No, if he doesn't join... it's because he's either agreed to stay on a lower fee, which fits the pattern of the story, or Barcelona and Man United don't come to agreement. It isn't he's not joining you after a deal has been agreed between Barcelona. It's not a rejection. And that's what Man United fans have got to realize. You don't walk away from this deal right now. In a couple of weeks' time, it's already been reported on by the media. In the next couple of weeks, if Man United don't get this resolved, they will look to move on. They have other midfielders they've been looking at, other midfielders they've been reviewing, other midfielders they would potentially bring in. But there is no point in Manchester United walking away now with this deal at a point where it's either going to happen or it isn't. And United have worked themselves into this position. They've not been stupid and overbid and tried to overpay. But it's going to be interesting to see what direction this goes. And remember, there is still the option that he stays and plays and stays on the salary that he's on. But I just don't think that's going to happen. I think Barcelona will become very frustrated. They'll want to get the players and they want to sign. It will cause a very unharmonious situation. I believe if the resolution today is I'm not taking a pay cut, he will end up at Manchester United. if he says I'm taking a pay cut, then I think he stays. I don't see a world right now. It just doesn't feel to me like he stays on the money he's meant to be earning, and that's it. I just don't see Barca allowing that to happen, personally. Maybe you all think differently, and you're entitled to that opinion, but that's your view. Make sure you're smashing that like button this morning, people. We've got a super chat here that says, "Good morning, Terry. Am I the only one who misses the OG original music track of the Terrace? This one is okay. We miss Terry's laugh at the end." Cheers, Nabil. I appreciate that, my friend. Maybe. Oh my God, you are contradicting yourself. How am I contradicting myself? What's changed in my iteration? What's changed at all? I'd like if you can prove I've contradicted myself in your next comment, I'll pay £5,000, £5,000 cash. I always say that to people. If you think I'm contradicting myself, phone in, prove me wrong, £5,000 cash. I'll transfer it to you live on the air. I'll open my bank app and I'll send you the money. Meow maka. What it probably is, I'm giving you an opinion based on a new element of a story, which clashes with an opinion I gave you on a different story from a different journalist. But what some people tend to do on the Terrace is I give an opinion on a story or on somebody else's logic, and they take that as my view. That isn't the case at all. It's reviewing a story and giving you my thoughts on it, playing devil's advocate, looking at it from a different angle, rethinking things. That doesn't necessarily mean that my opinion has changed. Therefore, there is no contradiction. But yeah, phone in. Let me know. £5,000 cash. 100% transfer it to you if you can show me where I've contradicted myself. But there we go. See how big your ball bags are, my old mate. See how big your ball bags are. I want to see. Not literally. It's metaphorical. The other story is that Sandro Martinez this morning is demanding that Ajax negotiate with Man United. Ajax say they don't want to negotiate on the offer. In fact, they're now asking for 60 million euros. The price keeps getting higher for Lisandro Martinez. Why? I suppose is going to be the question from Manchester United fans. Why is the price rising? Why is it becoming more and more and more difficult? Why is it becoming more and more difficult to get this player done, to get it over the line, to get him through the door? A lot of people are wondering as to why this is. But it's very obvious. Nothing, again, has changed in relation to this. Been saying it for days. 2 clubs are chasing him. 2 clubs are in for him. And Arsenal are not pulling away just because of Grimaldo. Arsenal are not looking at Lisandro Martinez to be a backup left back. They're looking for him to be one of their main centre backs. And Ajax will keep pushing the price up while there's at least 2 teams interested. It's a very simple and easy thing to do. Very simple and easy thing to do. That's it. That's what clubs do. That's how they work. That's how they operate. So until Arsenal pull out and United are the only team in the race, or Lisandro starts being difficult with Ajax, this is what they're going to do. And I said this earlier on today, and in fairness, Man United did have pointed this out to me in a tweet. Like, we got Donny quite cheap by typical standards. But Ajax also know that Man United have overpaid in the vast majority of the deals that we have done in the past decade. And this is what clubs try to do to Man United. So I'll stand resolute in my point that I'd rather miss out on a target or 2 this summer than overpay on too many of them. You've got 2 or 3 clubs that then start fighting for a player in a bidding war. You may end up paying above market value. That's what a bidding war does. That, though, isn't your club being bent over the barrel. That's a bidding war. If we're the only team seemingly in for a player because a player wants us, everyone else pulls away, and you end up paying 10, 15, 20 million pound over the odds, it will annoy me because of the precedent that it sets and the difficulty of pulling away from that deal later on down the line. But as Fraser Fletcher said to us last night on the Terrace, it's going to be a very big few days in the transfer market. There's expected movement. It feels like some of these deals are really coming to a head. Comment here, Dimmy here says, if a player takes a pay cut so he doesn't have to join, how is that not rejection? Because the first choice was always to stay at Barcelona. It's a rejection if he in his head goes, right, I'm leaving, let's speak to Man United. Actually, no, I'm not coming. So there isn't anything new about it. We know that his preferred choice is to stay at Barcelona. There's no... you can call that a rejection if you want. The point I'm making, if you want to call it that, I'm not got an issue. My point is the reasons people are giving for the situation with De Jong are wrong. The reason this deal is stalled isn't because the player isn't open to joining Man United. It isn't because he doesn't want to play for us. There are multiple other factors that have got in the way that get ignored because they're not good for banter. The second part of your comment is, secondly, the transfer fee between United and Barca is not the problem. Yes, it is. It is. See, this is the problem, Dimmy. You're not reading the stories that don't fit your narrative. The problem isn't that the base fee has been agreed. It's the add-on, which is, of course, part of the fee. Barcelona want more of it as a guarantee. The reason they want more of it as a guarantee is because essentially the 20 odd million euros that they want as a guaranteed amount, but you pay it in installments, or they want it easy based on appearances, is what they're going to use from an accounting point of view to cover the deferred wages to Frenkie De Jong. But if those fee add-ons of the team winning trophies and we don't win trophies, if it all goes wrong, they don't get that money, and they're banking on that money. So as I said before, Frenkie De Jong is open to joining Manchester United. He has not turned around and said to Man United, I have no desire to join. This is a very good one, fan banter created. It's banter created. He doesn't want to join Man United. That's a twisting of the situation. His preferred choice is to stay at Barcelona. That does not mean he won't join Man United. It's a misconception. The transfer fee is the issue based on the add-ons because they want to pay his deferred wages with them. That's it. As it stands right now, De Jong has said he isn't the irony in it is this. He wants to stay at Barca, but he's also, you could twist it into he's rejecting them if you want, because he doesn't want their new proposal. This is the point. It isn't as basic as people like yourself are making out, Dimmy. All you're trying to do is be negative about Man United, which is fine, but don't get triggered when the truth gets presented. Like, just do your banter and move on, bruv. No £5,000 for you. You've just been schooled, my brother, live on the air. Schooled. Schooled. Because you're not listening. What you're doing is what everybody does. Your banter's fine, but you're taking your banter like it's... You know when a comedian stands up on stage and gives political advice in their jokes? You do realize those jokes wouldn't actually stand up in real life. You couldn't use those jokes as policy. My guy, go. Honestly, you need to get back on the mum's breast now because you've just been slapped back to childhood. See you in a bit. Barca taking out loans to pay other loans, owes over 100 million to other clubs on old transfers and nearly 400 million in deferred wages. They are a dead club. Listen, there has to be something going on. And I don't mean that as a dig. I don't mean that as a knock. There has to be something going on in relation to the players leaving. This is the thing with Barcelona. It can't just be incomings. Maybe if they reduce everybody's wages, and maybe Frenkie De Jong in the end said, you know what, the irony is this. It's my dream club. It's my dream club, but only if they pay me what I want to get paid. This is when you listen. I still think what you're going to see here is a professional footballer be a professional footballer and go, I'm getting paid what I'm worth. I'm getting my money, bro. Dream club or no dream club, but we'll see. It's a very interesting thing that's happening over there. I'm still confident that we signed De Jong. Honestly, I don't see him staying, taking a pay cut, playing fourth choice central midfield, and them owing him millions. Well, that's also another way of looking at it. Yeah, he's going to stay at Barca, be fourth choice, barely play, lose £70 million and get paid less each week. If he does that, the geezer's the biggest doormat in the world. That's the equivalent of a woman taking back her husband every weekend after he's been out banging some bit from down the pub. Oh, it's okay, love. It's okay. Do you want me to run you a bath so you can have a wash? I just don't see it. If he does, listen, I will eat my hat if he takes a 60% wage cut and rejects the £70 million they owe him. I will say, for the first time ever, a player's love for a football club outweighs their desire to get paid. I've never seen it before, especially when you're not a homegrown talent. I can get it from a Gerrard at Liverpool. I can get it from a Scholes at Man United. I kind of get it from a born and bred Catalonian. I get it. Not from De Jong. If he does, I'll hold my hands up and say I was wrong. Francisco here says, thanks, Terry, for the membership. Not a problem, my friend. Not a problem at all. Terry, I think 60 million euros for Lisandro Martinez is BS. That's why Arsenal have pulled out. Well, Arsenal haven't pulled out as of right now. They haven't pulled out. They are still in the race for the player. And I've said for a while, and obviously we had Fraser Fletcher confirm it yesterday, but they were never pulling out. They're going to try and sign him. They, for one reason or another, there is a focus from Arsenal on getting a new centre-back. Now, last night, a very credible journalist said that Juve are back in for Gabriel. Arsenal fans like, no way. This is not going to happen. Never say never in the transfer market. I'm very intrigued to see what happens with Gabriel. I am. We'll see. You have to admire Barca. They are in trouble financially, but they are desperate to be competing. This is how a club should be run intent-wise. Oh, by the way, Barca have they've sorted a lot of things out in-house. And they're operating better behind the scenes, and they're putting in situations to resolve their problems. And they're going for it. There's no doubt. And listen, Raphinha, brilliant signing. They want Bernardo Silva. They want Lewandowski. They're after some serious talent, some serious players that will make them a danger in football again. I'm just more intrigued of how are they doing this. I'm legitimately intrigued. How are they doing this? I'm very, very intrigued about it. I really, really am. It's interesting. Funny how everyone became accountants as soon as Barcelona came in for their transfer targets. I understand that, but the reason people are doing it is because it doesn't make sense. Like, it's not being an accountant. They owe 400 million in deferred wages. They're taking loans upon loans. They're selling off TV rights. People want to understand how they're affording all of this. They're begging De Jong to take a pay cut. Why? If they had the money, they wouldn't need him to do that. So people are like, something's got to give somewhere. Something somewhere's got to give. And probably that is selling players. So there we go. Terry, he believes in the curse. He has been informed by shamans. United are doomed forever. Ah, is that what it is? It is what it is. There we go. We're going to have some calls in a few moments. I want to get your thoughts. I want to get your feelings on this morning upon the football terrace. But we're talking Martinez. How close do you think that deal is? We're talking De Jong. We're talking Raphinha. Imminent move to what club is it? Barcelona. That's where it's going to go. I don't know what. I still think something's going to happen in that deal. I could be. I don't know what it is, and I'm not talking directly Raphinha. I'm just thinking Dembele doesn't sign. Something's going to happen. I don't know. Something don't feel right. I don't know. Gut feeling. Could be wrong, but there we go. What's the dress code for calling in? Clothed. Wear clothes. That's what you've got to do. That's what you've got to do. Barca and Real Madrid have been so desperate to succeed all the time for the last 50 plus years. I wouldn't say it's shady business. I just think there's definitely some shady business that's gone on in the Prem as well. I wouldn't just angle that at them. Terry, except for Eriksen, do you think United will get any more transfers in before the season starts? Yes, I think they will. I think Martinez will happen before the season starts. That's still like, just over 4 weeks, just under 4 weeks away. 3 weeks or something like that. Yeah, I think Man United will. I think Man United will get at least one more deal done, sort of dusted and over the line. De Jong could protrude, but we'll see what happens. And I know that Man United fans want these things to happen. They want these things to happen quickly. But I would just say, have some patience. You know, I need to do that sometimes, and I get panicky. But the reason I say that is because I don't want us overpaying. I don't want us just to walk into the Barca boardroom today and go, oh, do you know what? Instead of 56 million up front plus 20 million add-ons, we'll just pay 75 million now. That would actually bother me more than not getting De Jong, because you set the precedent again and again and again and again to be dragged over the coals. But there we go. And on the Eriksen thing, a lot of people are annoyed all weekend. What's going on? I was told on Friday evening he was having his medical over the weekend. And I think quite late last night, 2 or 3 publications started printing that same news. It's happening. And as I all said, like I've been saying for a week, his medical is different from every other player that we'd sign, because he's literally had a heart attack a year ago. And even though everything's fine, and on paper, he's less likely to have a problem than any other player on the pitch because of the pacemaker, which will quite literally like restart things instantly. He's actually in less danger. There's still a lot of protocols to go through. The medicals are different. The insurance levels are different. And he had an extended break. And he wasn't due to meet up with Man United into at least Melbourne. They're still in Bangkok. So nothing's behind. Nothing isn't where it shouldn't be. It's just panic and scaremongering from the media. But Man United fans, they lap that shit up. Honestly, Man United fans love it. They really do. Even Dembele rejected Chelsea. Pookie to Chelsea is happening. Yeah, I mean, people are still getting at Chelsea, but it's like one of the best attackers in the world in Sterling. It's mad. The one thing with Chelsea, the one Chelsea deal that is confusing me is why are you signing Ake and then City getting Koundé? that's a weird one. I have to say, I'm like, that does not make sense. And that's a little bit cheaper. The only way that makes sense is they're saving that money and they're going to bring in a top class centre back. Then you're like, okay, I kind of get it now, but we'll see. Terry, as a Ute, I enjoyed the possibility of signing players in October, December, and February, or whenever. Transfer windows being bought in equals awful. Yeah, listen, I remember when you could get transfers pretty much any time of the season. It was nice. It was fun. But then the window throws in jeopardy. So once the window closes, you get a few injuries and you get some suspensions. It kind of makes things really interesting. So I think it adds a different dimension to football now. Terry Barca are selling TV rights for a combined 600 million euros. 200 million of that will go to transfers and the rest to sort out short-term debt. Oh yes, I know what they're doing. I'm very aware of that. That isn't my point. But if that is what you're hearing, if that money was enough to resolve everything, they wouldn't be asking De Jong to take a massive pay cut. They would have registered particular players. They'd be making bids for people like Lewandowski. They haven't done any of that yet. Now, I know people say, well, they've got to wait for that 600 million to arrive. I get it. But still, you just say to Frenkie De Jong, you wouldn't have to say take a pay cut. You'd say, listen, you wouldn't say anything. Would you? Think about it logically. You wouldn't say anything. You wouldn't have to have a meeting. You just say, Man United, we ain't selling him. It's Barca that have initiated this, by the way. Barca are touting him about why for their situation. It's either one or two things. Their financial situation isn't resolved or they don't want the player. And if they don't want the player, this is why Barca fans have been making me laugh. Every 5 minutes, we're not in financial trouble, Cherry. It's all okay. Well, then you don't want De Jong, and players tend to not stay at clubs where they're not wanted. So either way, something's got to give. And until the moment Frenkie De Jong says, I will not leave Barcelona, which he's never said, and Barcelona say, we're not going to try and sell him, this deal's on still. Am I deluded enough to think we're his number one choice or his dream club? No, but I don't care about that. These footballers are professional. That's my point, my G. If that financial situation was resolved and they wanted De Jong to stay, they wouldn't be negotiating with Man United. There are still issues. They still want to sell people. And go back to some of the original reports that came out of Barcelona. A lot of it was they didn't really want him anymore. But they can't say that. If they don't want to play for footballing reasons, lowers the price. But there we go. Terry, you get a gal on here. I want you to know he does not represent Arsenal fans at all. Consider me for a call in. My friend, the lines are always open. Feel free to call in. And if you're as good as a gal, we'll get you on again and again and again. But if you're, I appreciate the super chat, but if you're whack, we're not going to have you on. You got to have something to say. You got to have a bit of passion. You got to have a bit of desire. You got to have a bit of personality. And a gal's great. He annoys me sometimes, but he's great. But I like that. That's what I like about a gal. At least he says stuff that's, it gets the blood flowing. Some people come on and it's literally boring. It's like, mate, I can't wait to end this call. Can't wait to get you off the stream. You're boring me. You've got no personality. Do you know what I mean? I feel sorry for their other halves. Jay here says Barcelona holding up the transfer window. Martinez and De Jong transfers irritating other clubs. Take us for a ride increasing. That's why some people in the board should not work. Change is required to get respect. Well, it doesn't matter who you bring in. The club isn't going to be respected until we behave differently. So these deals being delayed give us that. But also, it's not just holding the market up. It's making the transfer market a little bit boring as well. Because if you think about this, Chelsea are going to try and sign somebody else now other than Raphinha. That will make the transfer market exciting again because, who's the new target? Either Man United or Arsenal will miss out on Lissandro, which means they'll move on to somebody else. That's exciting. Man United will move on to another midfielder if they don't get De Jong. That'll make things exciting. We just need Barcelona to essentially move forward with things so that we can all move forward. I totally get you. La Liga have forced strict La Liga rules with salary spending limits. That's why there's a salary problem. Barca can spend on transfer fees, though. Okay, cool. I get that. I get that. But that equals my point, though. If they can still pay De Jong these wages if they wanted to, but they obviously want to reduce their wage bill so they can sign other people. That's what it is. You know, if they've still got financial issues to a degree, and they will have for a period of time. As you say, all this money coming in isn't going to sit in their bank accounts. A lot of it's going to go straight out paying debts off. 400 million in deferred wages, didn't I read? So 600 million euro deal. Think about what, like 2/3 of that are going straight to wages. And it just is what it is. You don't need to be a rocket scientist to work it out. United's sluggish approach is why United will overpay on players, putting all their eggs in one basket for De Jong when they knew the situation. We are not going to overpay for Ajax players. Yeah, I hear you on that. I hear people on the sluggish approach. We'll see. Look, we're going to go to some calls now. We've got Pav to come on, Mo to come on. We've got Matt backstage. We've got Zane and others all waiting patiently, one of them two things, to have their say. De Jong won't say he will join another club because of loyalty bonuses. If De Jong did say he would join United, that bonus is null and void. Potentially. We know these things exist. One of the, Paul Pogba, one of the reasons why he just sat there and, he waited very quietly until the end of his contract ran out before announcing he was leaving. Because if he didn't, he would have missed out on £3.8 million of loyalty bonuses. So, yeah, we know these things exist. But again, those things, that kind of news is boring. You can't banter anyone with it. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. It is what it is. What is Ricky talking about? Spend on transfer fees, yes, but that new player will be on wages which affect the wage limit. Of course. Again, it's all encompassing. If everything at Barca was fine, they wouldn't be selling De Jong unless they didn't want him as a player. So you can't sit and go, we're fine now. We've got no problems. But why are you selling him then? Again, it's just, people just use your logic. You know what I mean? Is Raphinha to Chelsea still hot? No. It's as cold as cucumber right now. He wants Barca. Barca reportedly agreed a fee. But I'm still intrigued to see what happens next. Would I be surprised if we're now told Barca put the deal on hold while they look at other transfers? That would make me laugh, because then I want to see Barcelona fans get out of that one, Perry. We're fine financially. Close the deal off then. I'm intrigued to see what they do next. Do they sit there and go, oh, but we've got the proposal's been accepted, but we actually can't put the official bid in yet. Why? Because we ain't got no money. I'm so intrigued to see what they do. I'm really intrigued by it. I am so much. Why buy players when you can't even register them because of the legal wage cap rules? You have to sell players or give up on signings. May we? I don't know. I'm intrigued by it. I am. Right, first caller of the day on the show. I'm going to Matt, who's a Chelsea fan. What are you saying, Matty boy? You're on mute, my bro.
Fuck. Sorry, there we go. Be up, Terry, guys. It's some sad news. Both Raphinha and Ronaldo don't want to come to Australia. I don't know why. They both just don't want to come. So it's bad news for us. We're not going to see any of them play in Australia, but it's all right. Hopefully Ronaldo, in his absence, can then come to Chelsea and make up for it. But, regarding Chelsea, we're in a... I wouldn't say we're in a mess. I think we're doing very well, but I say it's just very confusing to the point that, as you've been speaking about, Raphinha, this Barcelona situation is the weirdest situation that I've personally ever seen. It's because they have money somehow, but then they're selling players because of the wages. It's just very, very confusing to me. Us, Chelsea, we're trying to, Todd Bowie's going out to dinners with Laporta, that somehow Laporta can afford that, which is great. And then we can try to get their players in return, because right now, Azpilicueta and Alonso looking like they're going to go to Barcelona. Where they're getting that money from, I'm not sure, but they're somehow going to get that money. Afterpay or something is going to be using by that. But I really want a Frenkie De Jong. I really want a Frenkie De Jong to Chelsea, because this is exactly what we need. Terry, I know, Terry, the Manchester United fans want him. I'm telling you, Terry, if we get both De Ligt and De Jong, that chemistry on the field together, they've been playing together since I was 16 years old. We will be in a fantastic integration with them too. They will be fantastic together. And I think De Jong's a special player. I mean, that's why Man United fans want him. That's why every Man United fan wanted him, because they love him. Same as Chelsea fans. some of us love him. Obviously, Chelsea fans have the biggest rivalry. No one's ever on the same page with Chelsea fans, but a lot of us do like Frenkie De Jong because of what he produced on the field. This guy's a hard worker.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's loving Barcelona despite them probably not even going to be a club in the next 2 years. So I really hope we can get that with the Frenkie De Jong. But yeah, go on, Terry.
No, listen, I hear you. Chelsea, mate, I'm more scared of Chelsea in the Frenkie De Jong situation than I am Barca keeping him. To be honest,
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm more scared of you guys sweeping him and taking him than I am Barca not agreeing to sell him. I really feel that Barcelona will eventually come to an agreement. I think if he point blank, again, the biggest shock would be he takes this massive wage cut and he says no to £70 million.
Yeah.
If Frenkie De Jong says no to £70 million, I don't know what they do in Spain. We knight people in England. He needs knighting. This guy needs to get a Nobel Prize because that would be the biggest peace offering and gesture of love we have seen in a long, long time. There's more love in that than when Harry Potter's mum sacrificed herself. Like, I'm talking legitimate love. If he does that for Bath, if he gives up 17 million and then gives up £150,000 a week for 4 years, this man is a saint. He is a saint, and he should listen. Forget, he would be the greatest legend in the history of Barcelona, bigger than any player they've ever had. If he gives up that money, take down any statue you're thinking of building for Messi, it's got to be Frenkie De Jong. Because Messi wouldn't have given up £17 million to stay at Barca.
But Dembele just did it as well. Like, the Dembele just took a 40% cut wage just to play at this club. Like, I don't understand if it's Xavi, if it's Laporta forcing. Like, I just don't get it, too. I really don't get it.
Dembele's situation was different, though, because he had no contract. If he didn't sign that, he'd earn nothing. Like, this guy's got a deal. Like, if he does it and he's got a 4-year deal, I will honestly get on my knees and I'm sorry, and I'll cook and eat this hat live on air. Matt, my friend, I appreciate you coming on, my brother, and we'll speak again soon.
Take care, Terry. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Call in now, people, and have your say. Listen, 1,000 likes, and we give away 10 free memberships on the Terrace today. Smash that like button right now. Subscribe to the Terrace. Loads more super chats and member chats here. Terry, why players want to go to Barca when their salaries have a chance of not being paid? I'm confused. It's crazy. Love the content. Yeah, I don't know. But look, I do. Barca's got massive pull. It's got massive history. Xavi's the manager. They're still a team that next year will probably compete for titles and honours. And they're already being sold and told that things are going to be okay. And it's mainly players on previous contracts on massive salaries who are the ones who have had to defer or owed money. I don't think anybody that's new that signing is going to be in that situation because they're being paid a little bit less, a lot less than previous contracts would suggest. Trevor here says, Terry, how incompetent are United at the beginning of the summer when they said they won't sign anyone until De Jong arrives, and now Malacia and Eriksen are the only Man United fans here? Well, Trevor, I think that was one report, but if you listen to what Dean Jones had told you right here on the Terrace 3 times over the summer, De Jong won't be the first signing. De Jong wants to wait and see a little bit into what Man United are doing elsewhere. You know, I've said many, many times, I understood the logic of De Jong being the priority because they want to build around him. Equally, you could look at this the other way. And I tweeted this about 2 weeks ago, and this was just like a bit of a joke, but the thought was that Eriksen and a few others wouldn't sign until they knew that De Jong was coming, and then they signed. Does that mean that internally, behind the scenes, we're really comfortable? We're really relaxed? Well, we think the deal's going to happen. It's just Barca resolving out their financial issues and then the deal gets done. Has that been reiterated to the other players? The only time this summer becomes incompetent is if we don't land De Jong and we don't sign an adequate replacement. But as reported yesterday, and it seems to have gone under the radar, there's 2 or 3 quality players on the backup list that the club will move to in the next couple of weeks if De Jong isn't completed. Now, I know people want these deals done before pre-season, but being premature would be incompetent. The deal happening after you got to look at the situation with City. City have been praised for Phillips, praised for getting Haaland in, great. But they're looking at a new centre-back and a new left-back. Their pre-season started, they're not in. Why? Is that a problem? This is the thing. Getting all these deals done before pre-season, especially when our pre-season was moved forward by 7 days, was never going to happen. And I'm not too sure where this precedent got set. No one's been able to show me yet where did the manager say, if I don't get my players in by pre-season, we're doomed? Where's that ever been a thing? I don't know, my friend. Again, I'll reserve judgment on Man United's window until it closes. But so far, I've been pretty impressed. You know, The Lissandro deal is annoying me now. Everyone thought it was going to be done 5 days ago when they put that new bid in. It's Ajax that are up in the level. It's not Man United. Man United have got to a point where Barca have agreed to a base fee, but Barca are not agreeing because they want us to pay more of De Jong's wages. It's not Man United. It's not incompetence our end. Now, you may think let's move on to another player, and I totally get that train of thought. But imagine we move on and sign Neves, and then in a week's time, it's all resolved with Barca, and we could have got Frenkie De Jong. Frenkie De Jong is better than Neves. I think a little bit of patience is still needed, my friend. But great comment. Thank you. To be honest, if another club was going through this Frenkie De Jong thing like Man United, Terry would have a different opinion and think the club is pathetic. Completely untrue. I know you remember, and I respect you. But what have I said about Chelsea in their pursuit of Raphinha? They shouldn't walk away. It doesn't matter that they're not a number one target. What have I said about Arsenal and their approach for players this summer that they may not necessarily get? I spoke about how quick they've worked, how they've wanted these deals done, how they're fighting, how they're not being caught up in their feelings of a players not necessarily wanting them as a number one choice. So I praised Arsenal and Chelsea for doing the exact same thing. Now, the deal with Raphinha hasn't protruded and gone on as long as the situation with Frenkie De Jong, but the process behind it is exactly the same. So I've praised teams for doing exactly what Man United are doing. And we're chasing a player where we're not his number one choice, but there's a chance of signing a top-class player. Why would you not pursue it? I've praised Arsenal for not pulling out of this situation with Lisandro Martinez. And the reason they shouldn't pull out of the Lisandro Martinez situation is because if something happens within the Man United's camp and world, and we have to change direction on a player, it may stop us from being able to sign him. Imagine they pull out, say we don't want you anymore, and then he becomes available again. So, yeah, my friend, I get what you're saying. But if you watch my content, and you must do because you're a paying member, to say that is, you're not only wrong. I mean, you're completely wrong. I've praised clubs for doing that. I told Chelsea fans to be patient all summer about their approach. So come on, my guy. Where's that come from? Igal is a cool guy, but respectfully, people on this channel like to treat him as a clown and a laughingstock of the panel for the things he says. Do you know, I don't necessarily think that it's that with Igal. Igal's got a problem in the fact that he's got a big mouth. So people don't see this outside the terrace, but he'll sit on multiple channels, sit in spaces, calling out clubs. So when something goes wrong for Arsenal, everybody comes for him. He literally sits in a glass house throwing stones around. That's all it comes down to. You know, where people, I've told Igal this to his face, and it's not an issue, by the way. It's the way it is. And he knows what he's doing. He knows he says things for effect. And equally, it's like, he'll always sit there and go, I've got to be calm about Arsenal, calm, patient, rete. And then if anyone else tries to do that about their own club, he goes for him. Of course, and he's within his rights to do that. So people then go back for him. It's the nature of the beast. That's why Gal's one of the best in the business at this, because he actually has an opinion. He winds people up. He has a bit of banter. He defends his club against all odds. So he isn't treated as a clown. He's treated with the same banter that he gives other people. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. That's why he's a big part of what we do. He's part of the furniture at the terrace. I'm not worried regarding Chelsea and De Jong. They need 2 attackers, 2 centre-backs before they should even look at midfield, is what James Mullins says. Pedro here says most managers won't use preseason to assess their squads, and they see if they need more or not. That's also another very good point. You look at the Broja situation with Chelsea. They want to. By the way, Broja kills it in training and kills it in preseason. That could save Chelsea money. They'll go, right, well, we're going to really give them a go and put that money elsewhere this summer. You know, if Martial and Rashford are on fire in preseason, it changes the mindset. And it's right to do that. It's smart to do that. Imagine you didn't. Imagine you didn't. Imagine that you didn't. I don't know. Frenkie De Jong is only a smokescreen. Fellaini, deja vu. Can you imagine? We end up signing some bang average midfielder. Oh, that honestly, that would probably kill me. Right, next on the show this morning, my guy Pav is here. What are you saying, Pav?
Morning, man. It's got to a point where I'm not even angry, disappointed. It's just comical for me, like not in a bad way, but with every like article, all these in the know accounts who tweet out, all right, it's going to be done in 2 days. You're all frauds. Stop tweeting crap and picking off of journalist info. Whatever Laporta has been smoking in that crack pipe, it's kind of made its way to Van der Sar's office, because that guy is lost the plot. I'm not even joking. 60 million for Martinez. I'm all for like bringing him in, but 60 million, they're taking the piss. Like, he's known as the Amsterdam butcher. Like, I don't want to be paying 60 mil and he comes here, has a bad season, and we're all calling him the Argentine leprechaun. Like, I'm not happy about 60 mil. They're really taking the piss, and I don't know what it is, because I thought we had a good relationship with Ajax, and either they think that we're desperate and they're trying to pinch every last bit of penny they can from us. The fact that there was articles about they wanting like 80 million plus for Anthony as well. The club shouldn't be doing that deal if it comes to it. Not for 80 million. A player like that, we paid 70 odd million for Sancho, and he was killing it in the Bundesliga, and I was happy with that deal. But 80 million for Anthony and 60 million for Martinez, I think the club. I don't think the club should be paying that. I don't know if they can reach an agreement, or if Martinez can start doing something at Ajax to push the move through. But what I read this morning, that was a joke.
I totally get you, Pav, and I think that this is what they're trying to do. Is very obvious for me. Is because Arsenal's still involved. They're trying to get Arsenal to outbid Man United, and then get Man United to outbid Arsenal. So they're going to set a high bar. Because if Arsenal come in and go, right, there's 53 million euros, then what Ajax will do? Because Ajax, by the way, haven't actually point blank refused Man United's offer yet. They haven't said no to it. It's just sitting there. If Arsenal come in and offer 53 million euros, then Man United have to at least offer 53 million more, but they'll want to offer more than Arsenal because they just want to get it. They want to be the front runners, right? So they'll go 55, and then Arsenal might go 56, and that's all they're doing. They're trying to drive the price up. This is the point. Based on your own logic, you have to then be patient, because you can't demand the club not overpay, but then expect us to get the deals done quick if clubs are trying to take the piss. Like, that's where the fans have to sit back and decide what they want. You either want to overpay right now and do the things that Barca and Ajax are demanding, or you sit and be diligent. But being diligent means, and waiting or refusing might mean you miss out on a target or two. But over the course of time, you build up more respect in the transfer market. It's almost impossible to do all the things. Fans are almost asking for two opposite things at the same time. Does that make sense? And you can't. Yeah. It can't quite be done that quickly, but by the way, I think 60 million euros for him is absolutely horrendous.
The thing is, some of the players they sold when they had that really good Ajax team, when they got to the semis, they were like, Frenkie went for something like 65, 70 mil then, and de Ligt went for a little bit less, and none of these players have actually replicated that. So I don't understand where some of these price tags are coming from. Like, they sold Gravenberg for 20 odd million. I know he had 1 year left, and Haller went for like just under 30 million euros as well. And wasn't he like, I'm sure he was top goal scorer in the Champions League. And it's like, I'm not sure what's happened with this like whole relationship with us and Ajax, because Van der Sar's just, like I said, he's on that same crack pipe as Laporta. And even him, like, I'm not even going to call him Laporta anymore. I'm calling him La Puta, because that's what he is. Like, that guy needs to hurry up and just pay Frankie's wages, because I'm too invested in Frenkie now. Like, you know, when like the whole Sancho thing, we're all invested in him, we want him so bad. It's got to a point where at the start I was saying we should move on from this if you don't want to come. Now it's just like I want him to come, because the amount of time we've all like invested into this and all the stuff that's come out. But I don't know. I don't know how they're like getting away with some of this like shady business they're doing when they're owing players all this money. I don't know what Bright House buy now, pay later deals they're doing, but I don't know. I'm kind of tapped out. I'm just like, I just read an article. I don't really delve into it too much. I'm not going to put any emotion into it. I'm just going to wait now until the season kicks off. We've got a game tomorrow. I'm just going to enjoy that. And yeah, hopefully
there we go.
Two of them can come in.
There we go. Pav, thanks for calling in, mate, and having your say. I appreciate it, mate. We'll speak again soon. Top man.
Cool, man.
Thank you. Interestingly, another there's a quote here from Fabrizio Romano that I've shared on Twitter. It says here that Man United are awaiting news from Frenkie De Jong. Chelsea are interested but had never made any offers. Now, I need to delve into what Fabrizio said in more detail. But that's what's going on. United are waiting for news. And you'll probably find, I don't know if that's a tweet from him or if it's his caught offside article. He normally has a caught offside article on a Monday. Maybe it is. Maybe it's directly from a tweet from him. Let me just see what they're saying here. Is he tweeted this morning about this? Oh, it's in his caught offside article. But that's what Man United are doing. Man United are just waiting to see what comes out of this meeting between Frenkie De Jong and Barcelona. And again, my belief is based on what's been reported by 95% of the media, 95% of the journalists. Frenkie doesn't want to take a pay cut. If he doesn't take a pay cut, Barca will sell him. And if Barca agree to sell him and they agree a fee with Man United, he's open to joining Man United. It's a very simple process. It's just convoluted in terms of time. Why? Because Barcelona are messing everybody about. It's not really a Man United issue. It's a Barca issue. We're just caught up in the middle of it. But we'll see what happens. Prem fans, you are a joke. The whole of Europe has been laughing at you whilst you were playing pretend accountants for the past 3 months. Now, Europe isn't laughing at us. Europe is jealous of all the money the Premier League clubs have. They wish they was. You do realize that clubs like Bournemouth getting into the Premier League have more money than most of the European giants. As in, like, cash coming in through, like, TV rights and stuff. Not the 3 or 4 biggest teams, but I'm talking old giants. Like, Bournemouth have got more money than most of Europe. It's because we've got the best league. There's no need to hate on us having the best league. Do you know who the biggest people that annoy me in the whole world? Fans of the Premier League. People whose football clubs are from the Premier League, but they hate the Premier League. It makes no sense. Well, I prefer La Liga. Go support the La Liga team then, you mug. Get out of here. I like La Liga. I like the Bundesliga. I like Serie A. I like other leagues. But I would never put any league above my league. Not my league because I'm English. I'm an Englishman. Ooh, I'm English. So give me a cup of tea, please. Hello. No, because I support the league that my team's in. That's what it comes down to. Like, if you're a guy from... What country am I going to suggest? If you're a guy from Kenya and you support Man United, I don't get how you're back in La Liga over the Prem. Makes no sense to me. I don't get it. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm warped. I don't know. To be honest, Terry, if we go for Ajax players before, instead of wasting time on De Jong, we'd have got this done. But we have been working on them. Again, Jay, my brother, what YouTuber are you watching that's giving you this false information? Man, every journalist has been on the terrace. Every journalist article you read, we've been working on multiple deals at the same time. This notion that we're working on one deal at once, it's a fallacy. It's like rocking horse shit. It's not real. Do you know what I mean? Like, my brother, it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist, my guy. I promise you. My man. Most managers actually see pre-season. Oh, sorry, I've already read that one out. Sorry. I've already read that one. There was another super chat that came through. I think I missed it. There it is. Barca fans, you're a joke. The whole of Europe has been laughing at you whilst you have been playing stripper for the last few months. Can you imagine? That's how they're making their money. Laporte is grinding on a pole. I'll stick €5. I'll stick €5 in your G-string, bruv. Got no money. Honestly, can you imagine it? You're going to see it on Can't Pay, they'll take it away. In like 2 years' time, there's going to be a Can't Pay, take it away. The bailiff's turning up at the Camp Nou. I can't wait. No, I'm only joking. They'll be fine. Right, next on the show, Mo is here with us. What you saying, Mo? Ninos is coming on as well. KC's going to have his say. He's a Barca fan. I bet he's upset. Mo's here now. What you saying, brother?
Yeah, just a bit tired of the Frenkie De Jong deal, to be honest, Terry. You got a team that's pretending to have money that they don't need to sell Frenkie De Jong. He's not for sale, but then they ain't got the money to pay his wages. It doesn't make sense. Like, I think what they're trying to do is trying to get more money out of us, and that's not going to work. Just sell the player and let's move on. Take a bit of money before you guys start getting repossessed. You see the bailiffs coming to the new camp and start taking their seats and everything. Like, they're broke, Terry. Literally, they have no money at all. Like, literally, I saw the wages, Terry, that they I don't know if they're alleged wages, but like Griezmann's on like 700k or something like that. I'm thinking, bloody hell. It's like they have no money, Terry, so they have to sell. Whether they like it or not, at some point they're gonna have to say, all right, cool. We've tried to play hardball with United, it's not working. Just make the deal happen. I don't understand why they're trying to get some more. I get it, but because they're literally broke. And what Bayern Munich said, about Lewandowski's wages, they literally broke Terry. Like, they got no money. Literally, they got no money. They got players on high wages, and they're gonna have to sell.
Mate, I could not agree. I could not agree with you more. I think they're going to have to. I know why this becomes painful for people watching it, because Barca have played a very interesting game. I've enjoyed watching it. Is what they'll do is they will get Man United to a point, and then tell the media that it's almost done, and then when it's almost done, they kick the can down the street. So the fans become annoyed. But this is also part of the process. I don't know if you've ever done this, but in previous jobs of mine, I've tendered for really fairly big financial contracts, and you're talking deals worth anywhere between £500,000 to £10 million in terms of total costing for a business. And the amount of times you sort of sat there and it's like the deal's done, and then it gets moved, and then it's done, then it gets moved, then it gets done, and it's like cat and mouse, and then people try and take money off. The worst one we ever had, and this was a mad story, weren't my deal, by the way. It was a partner of mine in business. Landed this deal with a bank, right, where we were going to put, like, the company was going to put like 1,000 contractors into a bank. Now, that's a hell of a lot of money. And it was a 2-year contract. This was worth millions. We went out, right, on a Friday evening, company cards, 6 of us, dinner, drinks. It was a party, mate. We'd done $6,000 on a company card, right? They'd signed this deal off. On the Monday, they'd changed their fucking minds, right? The meltdown in the office, the owner of the business was like, "You lot did $6,000 on Friday." I was like, "It was not my deal, bro. I didn't lose it." That was so. I've seen this happen in real life, which I suppose is why I enjoy the process. This is normal, but I also understand. Again, I enjoy the kicking of the can. I enjoy the cat and mouse. Where for some people, it's like, "I just want the deal done." I totally get it, mate. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Thanks for the call, my brother, and we'll chat again soon. Thank you. That was a mad day. And do you know what it was that happened? I can't name the businesses, but there was a board member of this bank whose brother-in-law was a director at a competitor of ours, and was like, "No, we're going to use their company." This is the maddest. This is how mad it was. We ended up winning the deal back. The competitor couldn't manage it and was failing, and then had to subcontract it to us. So we then charged the premium on top. So we ended up making good money on it in the end. But that was a very painful Monday in the office. One, I was hungover still, and two, we had $6,500 worth of receipts. The owner was pissed. He's like, "You didn't win the deal." I remember a guy, Mike, I worked with, his face. His face. He was a picture. That was a great day for me. And there was me bowling in. It weren't me, but I had the joy. It was a great, what a night out that was. What a night out it was. I do miss those days. Company car. No, it wasn't when I worked at Barclays. It was, I was working for a consultancy by then. So we essentially put consultants into banks, contractors. That's what my job was. My job was managing a relationship between the consultancy and the banks. And I would, where it need people, it could be individuals, it could be teams of people, I would essentially provide them. I had a recruitment team that worked behind me. Boring, really, to you and I, but in the industry, a really enjoyable job. Really enjoyed it. Terry gets 12,000 a month from YouTube. He has more money than sense. I don't get 12,000 a month from YouTube. That's not true. I don't know where you've got that figure from. I definitely do not earn £12,000 a month. It's a lie. It's a lie. I earn 20. No, I don't. It's a joke. That's a joke. It's a joke. Nowhere near 12. I don't know where people... Do you know what? There are some websites that you can put YouTube channels into and it tells you how much they earn. And they're always so wrong. It's ridiculous how wrong they are, to be honest with you. Even they show how many views you get. And I read it, I'm like, I get more than that. Or some... In fairness, if you Google my name in net worth, there's a website out. This is what's crazy. I don't know where people get this information from. This is Terry Flores. All right, let's do it. Net worth. All right. Honestly, I've read it. I want to know what it's going to say today, because the last time I checked, here we go. What's it saying now? That's not bad. Look, see, Terry Fleur's net worth saying 5 million. It's saying 5 million. They're saying 5 million now. It's not true. I don't know where people get this information from, but it isn't the case. I'm not worth 5 million. I wish I was. Listen, we're 300 likes away from gifting the 10 memberships out. I can't believe we're not on 1,000 likes yet. Smash it now, get it done. We've got Nino's coming on the show next to have his say. A super chat here first says, Barca. Oh, I heard that. Well, sorry, here it goes. You got more money and still can't get De Jong. I'm not claiming Man United are in a good place, but we're not broke. There's a difference. Not getting Raphinha could get us Lewandowski. Can you imagine that? Chelsea and Lewandowski. Can you imagine Lewandowski at Chelsea? If Lewandowski signed for Chelsea, could they win the league? Will they win the league? Would they have the best striker in the league? Oh, Kane versus Lewandowski. Woo! Get it done. No, don't get it done. I don't want you to. You'll finish it at my club. But as a fan of football, that would be interesting. We're a joke. We're broke and yet got Raphinha, Lewandowski, De Jong, Dembele twerking for the honour of playing for the club. But no one said you ain't got honour. No one said you haven't got honour. Do you know what I mean? It is what it is. You know? Mike Tyson, when he was broke, was still a legend of boxing. People would still want to chat to him and talk to him. Didn't take away his legacy. Come on, my guy. Brilliant club. Great club. Just broke. I've enjoyed the Frenkie comps by United fans these past 3 months. Reminded me of how brilliant Frenkie De Jong can be. Thanks for the editing skills. Oh, one does protest too much, methinks. Are you okay, me old mate? You okay? You seem a little bit hurt. Ninos Emmanuel's on with us now. What you saying, my guy?
How you doing, Terry?
I'm very good. Who do you support, bro?
Bruv, right here.
Oh, Guna. He's a Guna, so it's really small.
Massive Guna.
Big Guna. What you saying, my friend? What do you want to say?
First we're talking about Barca's financials, then we're talking about yours. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, honestly, I'm financially in a better state than Barca. I can assure everybody I'm fine.
I was just to touch base on that goal comment that I made. It's not about the way that I don't hate a person. I don't hate anyone at all. But it's just that it doesn't represent us because the way we think versus the way he thinks, there's banter, there's all that sort of stuff. But I think he just takes a piss at times, laughs at people, smirks. I watch your channel a little bit and I see it. But yeah, we'll stay away from that. What I wanted to say was basically, so if you could ask anyone at the beginning of a transfer window who they would sign, I could tell you now, not one person would give you the names that have been mentioned right now, regardless of whether they knew. You could say the person's got no contract left. They're done with the club. You pick them, you take them. Who do you want? No one would give you the name. So I think this whole transfer saga that goes on, these rumors that go on, they're all fun until the end. And I think a lot of these people are just worked up because they've seen their clubs in this situation before, where you've got clubs like Chelsea who don't really, at times can have a plan, but at times just don't think. You can see it from the recent players that have come in and out of the club. You sell a player, you bring him back, whether he's good or whether he's not. So for me, it's just about, I really want certain players in the club, certain players in positions, because I want my club to win again. I want my club to be on top again. Arsenal's a great club, and it's not showing. It's somewhat showing in the last couple of years, bringing on a new manager, bringing on new talent. But again, it's not showing as much as we want. We want to get to that pace that if we want to buy a player, spend the money. It might not be the process, but just do it.
No, I understand that. I mean, one of the things that I've said about Arsenal, Yuri Tillemans is one that stands out to me. It's almost at a point where that has to get done, and there's more reports this morning of him being on Man United's backup list if Frenkie De Jong doesn't come in. The last thing Arsenal need is to lose him as well. Like in terms of, It looks like you're not going to get Lissandro. If something went wrong, you didn't get Yuri. It goes from being what looked like an absolutely world-class window to being one that's a little worrying. Now, of course, there could be other targets and people that you bring in, and we do know, and I'll use a Gal in this. A Gal will be one of the gooners that does it. We'll spin it into Raphinha, Lissandro Martinez, and Yuri Tillemans were never primary targets of the football club. It will be the people that come after. These were all smoke screens. We lied to everybody for 8 weeks and then went for these people at the end, which we know that's all nonsense. Like, you don't go for your secondary targets. You don't go for your primary target second. you don't do it. You just get it done. So it's going to be intriguing to see what Arsenal do. I still think 2 or 3 quality signings will come into the football club, and it sets up what's going to be such an interesting season, because I feel like everybody's going to start this campaign stronger with better players, with expectations raised from last year. So yeah, I'm very, very, very intrigued to see kind of how that goes, my friend. And look, it'd be good to get you back on again. Mate. Where are you based in Oz?
In Australia, yeah.
Okay, mate, it'd be good to get you back on, mate, and have your say. We've got a few Aussies. Matt that calls into Chelsea fan. I haven't seen the Aussie Gooner for a few weeks now. I hope he's good. He's probably busy working, but
the only thing that ends up happening in these situations is we say, oh, we're going for Tillemans, and it's like, oh, don't worry, we've got Xhaka. You know what I mean? That's what ends up happening at the end of the transfer window. Oh, we already had a player in the first place.
Yeah, true. And I've heard that he's fitness. He did better on the bleep test than he did last year. Therefore, it's like a new signing. Like that'll be that sort of.
So crazy.
That's a madness. It's like, listen, if Man United don't buy a new midfielder and we start the season with Fred, I'm annoyed. Yeah. I'm annoyed. The only difference for us this year is we have got a new manager with a new structure, with a new system. There will be improvements in our team this year, even without signings. You guys aren't going to have that. I don't see Arteta being a better coach this season than he was last year. Better manager, maybe, but not a better coach. So he's not going to improve exponentially over the course of 1 year. He will get better, but I don't think by massive amounts. But yeah, it's going to be intriguing, definitely. Listen, my guy, thanks for coming on, having your say.
Awesome, thanks for having me.
Cheers, bro. Thank you. My shoulder is open. My shoulder is open for an all Chelsea Man United fans. Oh, to cry on. I get it. Yeah, I might take you up on that if we do bad deals. Man United gets Frenkie De Jong just to curb the arrogance of Barca fans. I hear you on that. It's interesting as well, though. I've got a logic thing for you, a logic mind test. If Man United shouldn't chase Frenkie De Jong because he doesn't desire us as his primary place to play football, should Yuri Tillemans and Ruben Neves reject Man United because they're not our number one choice? That's the problem with stupid logic. If it was real and applied in reality, nobody would sign anybody, barring their primary targets. And we can't all get our primary targets. So let me say that again. We shouldn't sign De Jong because we're not his number one. Should Ruben Neves and Yuri Tillemans say no for the same reason? Will they say no for the same reason? Is that a bad career choice? That's why it doesn't make any sense. There we go. Big up the Arsenal fans. Like, this is why I like Jess and Lee. They tell it as it is. Listen, where I disagree with gentlemen that called in is I like, whenever I hear, the only thing I never do is when people say don't have people on because they don't represent us. My response is, well, you come on and represent your views then. You know, if you've got a gal saying one thing about Arsenal, behaving a certain way and you don't like it, come on the shows and rep your club in a different way. Does that make sense? And I'll give you an example of that. I'm very conscious that English people have a bad reputation abroad. And I'm talking on holidays. I'm not talking, forget the government and what the country's done in our history. I'm talking individual Brits. When we go abroad, we've got a bad rep. We don't behave very well. So I personally make a concerted effort when I'm in somebody else's country to respect it, be polite, not to be drunk and disorderly, to represent my country in a different light. That's just how I live my life in standard rulings. It's why I don't like how certain people behave. Instead of moaning about it, I do something about it. I'm a person of action. So I use that same logic on the terrace. If you don't like my views on Man United and you want to say something different, come on and say it. Now, expect challenge, but you're entitled to. No other fan channel around gives a regularity for anyone to come on, anyone to call in, anyone to have their say. If you want to become a regular, reach out to KJ, start doing it. If you're good enough, and I will be honest with you, to be a regular, you've got to be good. Like, you've got to be engaging. Well, let me reiterate that. I've got to think you're good. I don't think you're good. You don't stay on. But anyone can call in. Anyone can have their say. And all the people you see on regularly, they're mainly on regularly. Nine times out of 10, because I'm like, they ask, oh, could I come on more regularly? And then me and KJ sort it. But yeah, like, back to my point, if you don't like how a gal or me or Jess or anybody reps your club, phone in, come on, be part of the show. It's real simple. I'm not going to take them off. That's not going to happen. If you're better than them, though, then you'll get on more. If you've got better opinions and you're more engaging than a gal, you'll get on more than him. Simple as that. And that's not a dig at a gal. That's just me wanting the Football Terrace to be the best channel out there. That's all it is. That's what it is. KJ has to think you are good. I'll fight your corner, people. KJ does get an opinion. He does. It's okay, Chelsea fans. The mighty Mount is here. Mason Mount would walk into that Barca team right now. Listen, people think, like, honestly, Mason Mount or Pedri. I'm taking Mason Mount. 110%. Mason Mount, technically better vision, better engine, more physical. Mason Mount, light years ahead of Pedri. I can't keep a straight. Hey, I can't keep a straight face when I'm doing it. Oh. Here we go. That fake laugh, terrible. Shall I find a video? Oh, I think there might be music in it though, and I'll get a copyright strike. But I need to find a video. Is there music in this? I think there might be. Can you hear that laugh? Did you guys hear that laugh? Listen again. Tell me if you can hear this laugh. It's my mother's laugh. So to anyone that thinks my laugh is fake, you should hear my mum laugh. She sounds like a drunk hyena. It's as simple as that. Right, next on the show, KC, the Barca fan. What are you saying, KC?
Yeah, I'm not so happy about the Raphinha transfer.
Why? Why not?
The guy is Brazilian Ziyech, and we need defenders. We don't need any more attacking players. It would have been better had we gone for a good fullback, but I don't know. It's the thing with this club; they will always go for an attack. They never care about the defense.
Oh, you got Gerard Piqué. You got MTT.
No, he doesn't start anymore.
No, I'm just saying it to wind you up. Yeah, listen, I think you are looking at defenders as well. You're going to bring in Alonso. You're going to improve there. You're going to bring in Aspi. You'll be fine.
No. No, but I need to respond to this the financial thing. So with the De Jong thing, there are some reports coming that he actually doesn't want. He hasn't said yes to United 1 or 2 days ago. Nothing not even personal offer, nothing like that. As for the wages, yeah, I'm not so sure that he's gonna get them this season. So that's why I think Barca will have to sell him.
Yes,
it's not just that we can pay his wages, but the issue is that Laporta actually wants a proper wage structure. So everyone right now is below 12 million euros. Now Frenkie comes in and he's earning 20 million. So that completely breaks up the wage structure and destroys the dressing room. Because that's what's happening with Messi. Messi was never the problem. He was performing well, but the issue was that every other player who were complete bumps, they were getting 500k a week and insane wages like that. No, so I think Laporta wants to maintain that proper wage structure of 12 million euros.
No, I hear you on that, mate. It's everything you've said there about the De Jong thing, I completely agree with. I just think that it's Barca selling him is what's going to do it. I personally believe that we would have already moved on if De Jong had told Erik ten Hag, I'm not, even if I leave Barca, I'm not joining Man United, or I'm not thinking about it, I'm not considering it, I'm not open to it. We would have moved on. There's no way, forget what the Man United board would have done in the past. There's no way Ten Hag does that. Not him. He's too astute for that. He really is. But Casey, thank you for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. And all the support you give the Football Terrace. Thank you. And everyone that's tuned in. We didn't meet 1,000 likes, though. I think there's 3 shows running. We haven't hit the like number while we've been live. So maybe we'll do it tonight on the Top 6 show. That's around 6 o'clock tonight. We're going live. But remember, people, until next time, you take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all again.